Today on Locked On Rockies, the bullpen finally waiting for a moment to shine, and unfortunately, it doesn't happen. The Rockies squander an early lead and drop another game.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 20th day of May in the year 2025. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. If your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's what we do around here each and every day, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. Today, we'll be breaking down the Rockies blowing a game late and everything falling apart for them with the bullpen. And, of course, we'll also talk about some of the good stuff, which is the return of Ezequiel Tovar. Clearly, one of the big, most important things for the Colorado Rockies is getting him back, him healthy, and he immediately makes his impact on the last two games, even though the Rockies lost the last two games he's played in, because I don't believe he played in the finale on Sunday. But what's new about this game? It was the same old. It's followed a very similar storyline, that one part of the game falls flat. Kyle Freeland can't get backed up fully. And the bullpen, we heard in the broadcast, we've heard multiple times, hey, the bullpen's the strongest point. The bullpen's every single day is a test for the Colorado Rockies. They are playing above 500 teams. They are playing playoff teams. So you cannot, and you look at it, right, and it's close and it's back and forth. But you knew there was a bad omen, right? There was a bad omen for Jake Bird when he throws the ball away. When he throws the ball away, and then the Phillies are able to cut the lead down and make it to 3-2. The Rockies bounce back, get the run back in the sixth. And increase that, or I'm sorry, it was the seventh, I believe, when Bird came in and did that. And that was the catalyst for then 7 runs given up in the 8th and the 9th inning by Seth Halverson and Scott Alexander. I mean, and it's a young bullpen that hasn't had a lot of opportunities to really show off its stuff. But when in this moment where it has been, hey, this is the moment, here it is, that the ball is in your hands. They weren't ready. They didn't step up. Because again, it's the level of talent the Rockies are going to play throughout the year. These games are going to happen. And the Rockies are in the position they are in because they haven't been able to close games. They have not been able to win the close games when they've had it here towards the end. And again, I'm glad the bullpen has had success in mostly meaningless games for them, but it's incredibly disappointing to see them not only stumble during this test, but stumble so poorly. This is a 7 spot in 2 innings is flat out unacceptable. I mean, that especially when you're looking at the fact that the Rockies starters and the Rockies starting pitching, Kyle Freeland again, was dominant and held Philly to what, just 1 earned run there across 5 1/3, 6 strikeouts for Kyle, navigated a couple of walks as well. So was it the best? Was it the most perfect start? No. But again, Kyle Freeland gave you a chance to win. Kyle Freeland put your team in a position to win. And then when you were finally given the opportunity as the bullpen, like this, somebody has to step up. Somebody has to be consistent. Someone has to rise to the occasion for the Colorado Rockies to stop this madness. They weren't ready. The young bullpen, the young arms were not ready to go up against the elite Philly offense, and Philly made them pay. If you do not make your pitches, if you make too many mistakes, you're going to get punished. And when you throw balls in the middle of the plate and let Kyle Schwarber hit one into the moon for his 300th home run, it's not going to go well. It's another moment where that's a game. And it hasn't been a ton, but it's another close game that's got out of hand. It's another game when you're going to look at the scoreboard and you're going to say 9-3. The Rockies got shellacked. The Rockies were winning 7 out of 9 innings. The Rockies were holding the Phillies offense, at bay at most. When Kyle left the game, after Kyle Freeland left the game, the bullpen allowed 10 hits in 7 runs, striking out 1 batter. That's flat out unacceptable. Flat out unacceptable. Mixed with the fact that the offense went cold and wasn't able to back up their guy anyway, except for Ezekiel Tovar was the only one really able to do a job. Just another amount of unacceptable. I mean, they didn't double-digit strikeouts yesterday, but another 9 strikeout day for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, it's they're going to keep going through games like this. They're going to keep going through this throughout the rest of the season, because until you can get over the hump, until you start rising to the competition and beating them, which people do. Bad teams beat good teams in baseball. There's 162 games. And so until the Rockies can find a way to play 9 innings of complete baseball, they will continue to lose games like this. They will continue to lose games that they should have won. They will continue to be a very, very, very frustrating baseball team. There is no, I mean, you can point to maybe one thing or the other, but that's just yesterday's game is just the status quo for the Colorado Rockies. That's what they do. They don't play complete games. They throw the ball away in crucial situations. They can't get outs when they need to get outs. And then the offense can't come alive when they need them to come alive. Can't cash in runs. Can't build up leads. Can't start putting teams away. Early offense again here for the Rockies. 2 runs in the first 3 innings, and that's it. Until the 6th, I mean, it's just it needs to be more consistent. The pressure needs to be put on. I mean, it wasn't like Sanchez was having his greatest game. And I will say one thing too, like, and this is, and it swings, I think, a little bit both ways. But the umpiring in that game, not my favorite. Not the best umpiring performances I've seen. Regardless, I mean, the biggest disappointment is, here's your moment, bullpen. Here's and we've been waiting to see what happens. The actual real save opportunities or opportunities for the Rockies to come up big from the bullpen side, they haven't in situations like this. While there might be some good numbers and good stretches for some guys, the bullpen has not been able to close out ball games. A 2-run lead is not safe for the Colorado Rockies at any point in the ball game. And of course, let alone at Coors, you know, I mean, that's a whole other ball game. And then it was home runs. I mean, it was you put the ball in the wrong spot and they made you pay. That's what good teams do. That's why the Phillies have made deep playoff runs for years and years at this point. And I mean, man, I know he's inconsistent. I know that there are things to keep in the back of mind, but Kyle Freeland's got to be getting real frustrated. If I'm Kyle Freeland, I'm pretty darn frustrated with where I'm at. Someone that's contributing to the team, someone that's rode with this team, someone that's been loyal to this team, someone that has been a Rocky through and through, and this team constantly lets him down. Constantly lets him down. Got him the lead, got him off, got him did that stuff a difference than we're used to. But it's got to be really, really disappointing to be Kyle Freeland again. Another situation in which he set his team up for success and they couldn't get it done. It's a team effort. It's a team sport. It takes the entire team to get you to get the job done. And the Rockies have been unable to do that. Another game here. Let's see. Add on here. Another game. No, that's okay. That's actually not so. There's been some runs there. It's just the par for the course, right? It's the par. It's the par for the course for the Colorado Rockies when it comes to that's how they lost. I mean, everything that's been annoying and frustrating about the Rockies this year was on display in that game. And again, this is 3 more games against Philly. It's 3 games against the Yankees. That's the next 6 games. It doesn't get much better than that. If you want to show people something, if you want to flex even a little bit, if you want to change even a microcosm of the narrative about yourself, start defending your home turf. Start playing with the little fire. Close ball games. Get the big hit. Michael Toglia, stop going down on 3 strikes for the love of Ray J. It's just, I don't know. I'm very low energy in terms of the rant and rave today, because it was just like, oh, of course. You watched when Jake Bird threw that ball into the outfield. That's the catalyst. That's the catalyst right there. You can't afford to make, right now, the Rockies cannot afford to make any mistakes, because every mistake that they make, the opposition is capitalized on. The Rockies leading the game until the 8th and then losing 9-3. There's really no other term for it than bullshit. Straight up bullshit, man. Just spilled hot tea on myself. Let's talk about one of the nice things. Let's talk about one of the bright spots, and let's talk about the Rockies would not be in this position if this player did not miss significant time for the Rockies this year. And we will do that coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When you start using Monarch, you're going to realize just how much you were spending on food delivery, streaming services, all that little stuff that really adds up, and it'll help you budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. And managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. This is the Locked On Rockies podcast, for free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. And shout outs to all of you again for checking us out on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, letting me know what's on your mind. And we got some questions here from Jack that I will answer here coming up here in segment number 3 from the Locked On Rockies YouTube comment section. You can let me know what's on your mind in the Locked On Rockies YouTube section. Let's talk about the bright spot yesterday. Let's talk about how, if Ezequiel Tovar did not miss significant time for the Colorado Rockies, they would not be in this position. It is abundantly clear. Even with his struggles with the hip, I'm glad he healed up and got it right. Because for Ezequiel Tovar to come back and just be on an absolute tear is a huge, huge boost for this offense. If Tovar is able to continue batting like we know he knows how to bat, contribute on offense like we know how to, mixed with the Beck and the Goodman hitless yesterday. Beck did get a hit. If those all three start going, that's going to help. And I think the moving of Brenton Doyle in the order and continuing to just kind of let him work through this, I do. There's probably some worries that it'll be a regression and we won't see the same level of offense from Brenton Doyle this year. But I think not having him in the leadoff spot is going to help him be more successful, be a more confident batter. We've known that leadoff is not a very successful spot for Brenton Doyle. But if those 4 guys, really the 3 main ones of Beck, Goodman, and Tovar, with the added bonus if Doyle is able to start recreating some of his last year offense, this offense will start scoring more runs. This offense will be better. This offense will be able to put the ball over the wall a little bit more, and it's going to help out this team, drive and generate some runs, something that they are really, really bad at. These guys, especially Tovar, he will be the catalyst that helps start propelling this offense into some sort of success, some sort of offensive prowess because they desperately need it. Desperately do they need it. They need some offense here, as it's so rare for this team to even score more than 3 runs. We've seen a couple of offensive explosions. But when you look at the vast majority of the games here, there's a lot more 3 runs and under here for that. But deja vu a little bit for the Rockies going back to opening day when you're thinking about that, instead of, having a lead, having Kyle Freeland pitch successfully, and then it slips away at the end. But man, at least when we're looking for something to hold out hope for, it's that a healthy Ezequiel Tovar will impact games. A healthy Ezequiel Tovar, as they navigate through this, will continue to and hopefully we'll see some more growth here too. We'll see more confidence. We'll see that defense that was a little shaky at the beginning of the year pick back up. Ezequiel Tovar will be the reason the Rockies win some games. And if he can start pairing, if his offense can stay hot and stay with the offense, some sort of the offense of Beck and Goodman, I think that's going to make the Rockies a much more interesting offensive threat. You're going to see now with Tovar back, you're going to see a lot less of those Martini, Farmer, and those type of where you got to put both of them in. You got to put both of these bench pieces. You got to put both of the guys the Rockies weren't planning on playing all that much in the order. That's the injuries putting them in the position that they needed to for a part of the season. And hopefully that'll be enough for the Rockies to win. But it's unfortunate to kind of think like, this coming back, this stuff can start bubbling and brewing. But then games like yesterday happen where it's just like just one guy or one part of the game being on in a game isn't going to fix things. It really truly is. The Rockies have to start playing clean baseball. Even before they start getting to the end. And it was just one error, yeah. But it's clean and effective baseball. It's no errors in the game. It's doing what Brenton Doyle did, hustle out doubles, get there. I know it turned into an error or whatever, but like until they really start doing all of the little things right, they're going to miss out. Because you know what? If it wasn't a historically bad season, games like this one would be the pill would be a little easier to swallow if you were able to kind of handle things and know that you were able to bounce back. But when you've had so few opportunities to be successful this year to get wins, you got to capitalize. So hopefully the return of Ezequiel Tovar will change that. I mean, I believe going into his last at bat or in the middle of the game yesterday, he was like 7 for 9 in his first 9 at bats back. He hit the home run yesterday. He's now had 2 home runs in his last 2 games, driving in the RBI, being the factor that we know he will be. And ideally, him being back in the lineup can help give Doyle some confidence as well. And I mean, as much as back Ryan McMahon, and then there's the always the possibility of what day are you gonna get from Ryan McMahon? Are you gonna get the Ryan McMahon of May who's been able to contribute and do stuff, or are you gonna get the Ryan McMahon that's gonna strike out 4 times? When every day and when every game is so vastly different for the Colorado Rockies, when it seems like almost everything that can go wrong or every missed opportunity gets exploited or punished in such a difficult way, it's tough. I mean, that game last night, I'm going to use it as the thumbnail, I'm sure, if I have access to the photo. I mean, that photo of Brenton Doyle says it all, man. Sean Drotar, we've had him on the show before. He retweeted the picture, that the screenshot we took, and basically said this encapsulates what Rockies baseball is in one image. Brenton Doyle sitting down, defeated after being unable to rob a home run, as the Phillies now take. Was that the go ahead homer or was that the tying homer? I believe it was part of the 8th inning explosion that led to the Phillies lead there. Man, the Phillies finishing that game with 17 hits. The bullpen allowing, what was that? Yeah, 11 hits. 11 hits from the bullpen. Just straight up, flat out, unacceptable. We'll see. They do. Hey, the beautiful part about baseball is that they do it all over again today. And while it might be against a good team, with Senzatella on the mound, which I do not like that matchup whatsoever, All it takes is one game for the Rockies to turn the corner of some success. Last time they were able to negate the losing streak to only 4 games before in-between wins. Let's see if the Rockies can do it at 2-game and steal one from the Phillies here in the middle of this series. See what they can do here. Because, man, the schedule. Woo! There's a chance the Rockies don't have double-digit or 15 wins until July. Unless they, I mean, we can keep saying that and the what ifs, but this is now also the time for this team, for this team, for these guys to show us it. Show us something. Again, backbone, courage, bounce back. Show us. I mean, you guys are all pros. You're all professional athletes. You're all pro baseball players. Baseball's a weird game. Coors Field's a weird place. Light the fire. Like there is a point though too where it's like stop feeling sorry for yourselves and go out there and perform. Do your job. You can't just get bogged down in all that little stuff. You can't just get bogged down by the record. The mental side of baseball is so key. But it's easy for me to just sit here and say shrug all that off. I can't imagine you can just sit there and say you don't just get to be a podcast host and say, oh, just shrug it off, just get out there, just play better, just do that. It's way deeper than that. It's way more complicated than that. I know I'm taking a lot of tea breaks here, but I'm fighting a sore throat. So trying to keep us good to go here. But at this stage, the analysis of the guys has to be show us, prove it, complete the game. I mean, they have to be. Well, I guess it's not the only analysis, but that is part of it. As much as I can sit there and say it's not so easy to say that, the only thing you can do from now is not only just is be competitive in games and that, but go out and win some. Being competitive is not enough. I mean, I didn't start the show with it. I don't have it up in front of me. Let me just see if I can pick it up real quick here. I should have, but here's this. There's only one way to turn it around, and it's by the guys turning it around. Because I really don't know what this team is going to do. Patrick Lyons on Twitter. Rockies 8-39 record is the worst start in the majors since 1901. Pace for 134 losses. Also bad, they've scored just 3 or less runs in 33 games. That's on pace for 114 games of less than 3 runs. Franchise low is 81. Live ball since 1920 record is 112 by the Houston Colts. Colt 45s in 1963. I mean, that's how bad it is. And eventually, I want to hear from the leadership of this team. Dick Monfort owes us a press conference. Bill Schmidt owes us a press conference. These guys need to start getting out and start facing the music a little bit because as this team continues to embarrass itself further and further and becoming one of the worst teams in history, I better hear some real good explanation from the people up top. And it better not just be other teams spent more money than us, because it's abundantly clear that Dick Monfort's mindset of other teams are better than us because they spend more money than us is a whiny crybaby approach. And it has now led the Rockies on the path of being not only one of, but potentially the worst professional baseball team of all time. Good job. Going to read some comments that we got yesterday here. Coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Welcome back into Locked On Rockies here, your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. You can find your team every day. And if your team is still somehow the Colorado Rockies, you're in the right spot because that's what we do here, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Okay, here is some questions and comments from Jack in the Utah comments. If we called up Charlie Condon, where would he play and bat in the order? Also, who would get DFA, traded, or demoted? You know, I don't know who traded. I don't know what value really a lot of the Rockies players are going to have, the ones that you'd think about trading and moving on from. I don't know who you would trade. DFA or demoted if you're going to go with Charlie Condon. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive call-up. in reality, I don't think that one is going to happen. And it'll be interesting to see if and when some of these call-ups do happen for some of these guys. How much? What's Warren Schaefer's approach versus Bud Black's approach? Jack follows that up with the. Do you think every time we lose and score less than 5 runs, we should call up our next better hitter? I think you're going to run out. If you like we just heard from Patrick Lyons there, if we're calling someone up every time they only score 5 or less runs, you're going to run out of bats to call up. And again, the prospect system, while it's made itself in the top 10, there's no true answer that's waiting down there. I don't think bringing up Zach Veen again is gonna magically turn the season around for the Rockies, make the offense better. Let's see here. RK said only needed 2 runs to finally win a series on Sunday, and they barely got 2 hits. So frustrating. Yep, that's it. I mean, it's offensive explosion, nothing. Inconsistency. I think all of our 20 draft selections should come from the top 25 college teams in the country. They could be ready next season. I like your optimism, Jack. I like that you're feeling confident. But one of the main question I wanted to land on here was your last one. Should Todd Helton be our next manager? Larry Walker, our hitting coach, and who should be our pitching coach? I don't want this. I get it. Todd Helton's cool. Larry Walker's cool. Hall of Famers, all that good stuff. I don't need any more Rockies running it back with old players. I don't need any of that. And it's probably much more likely that Vinny Castilla gets a job over any of those guys, considering he's been kind of within the org and managing stuff. I don't know what the answer for manager is. I don't know what the answer for hitting coach will be, because I don't think necessarily just those 2 positions are going to be the thing that really changes the trajectory, the big overall picture of the Colorado Rockies. If this season doesn't bring fundamental change to the Colorado Rockies, an overhaul, new faces, new ideas, new perceptions, if the Rockies are not willing to change in the wake of this season and just hit us with the same old crap of it's going to pan out, give us the time, we're hopeful, blah, 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 then it doesn't matter who their pitching coach and their manager and all that stuff is going to be, because the up top, the philosophy at the top won't change. This team has so many broken parts. And to me, if you hire a Todd Helton, a Larry Walker, a former player to be your manager, you're doing that solely for the name. You're doing a classic Rockies thing of, hey, they love that name. Get that name. They want that name. Get that name. They need that name. Todd Helton. Rocktober. Remember, we made it to the World Series in 2007 with Todd Helton. He's a Hall of Famer. You guys like Todd Helton? He's your favorite, right? Instead of continuing to cling and hold on to the past, start forging the next great generation of Rockies baseball instead of a near decade of downward trends and a near decade of creating one of the worst teams in baseball history. The answer to the Rockies is not to keep retreading and rehashing former players in manager roles, Clint Hurdle on the bench, Clint Hurdle in the clubhouse, and keep doing this stuff. As much as Dick Monfort wants to, as much as he dreams of recreating Rocktober, the likelihood and the odds of that happening again are so slim. So no, I don't think Larry Walker or Todd Helton should be. I mean, maybe they have something to say. I like them being advisors. I like them coming down to spring training. I like them doing that stuff and being around the team and being ambassadors for the Rockies. But this team needs to really, really do an extensive search and be willing to invest. Because part of it is too, the Rockies are not going to get out of this hole without spending money for the players on the field and spending money on the people that help make that makes the success happen behind the scenes. If you want to fix the Colorado Rockies, it's going to take a significant investment, and it's going to take some serious problem solving as well. Because just waving the wand of Rocktober and players that you used to love just won't be enough, at least for me. Might excite some other Rockies fans, but Todd Helton being the manager next year, to me, just seems like the Rockies rolling over and going with an easy answer. Folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. For your second listen, go check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And, of course, we got you covered with more Colorado sports. Locked On Broncos, Locked On Avalanche, Locked On Nuggets, and Locked On Buffs, all free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, folks, this is Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.